So today I'm going to take you through some of our off-grid solutions that we have here on our property. You could say we are technically off-grid. However, we are still tapped into municipal water and into the electrical system as a backup. Obviously, we've got water tanks, so if it doesn't rain, which happens frequently here, as I've said before, I think we are heading for our 8th or 9th year of drought, and we are on severe water restrictions. We can't water our gardens, we can't fill up our swimming pools. So yes, it's very challenging to try to keep a garden alive. So when it does rain, everything sprouts and looks magnificent and beautiful and green. And when it doesn't rain for weeks and weeks on end, everything starts dying, which is very, very depressing. So we do have a greywater system, which I'm going to take you through now. Unfortunately, it isn't big enough to keep our garden maintained. We've got a very big garden, so yes, we have to pick and choose with what we water with our greywater. We have water tanks. We have 15,000 litres of water capacity. It would be ideal to have more. We just haven't got there yet. These things take time. So we've got 2 water tanks down the side over there, and then 2 water tanks which you've seen in previous videos down the other side, and it's all been plumbed into our house. I'll be showing you a bit later on our whole pump system and filtration system, etc. When there is not enough water, so we always try to keep at least a quarter of each tank as a reserve, because there have been many times where there's been no water in the area, so then we can switch on to the tank water, but it's always a good idea to keep reserve. So yes, we always try to keep at least a quarter in each tank as a reserve. And then yes, our greywater waters our garden. We use it for our garden. Our greywater comes from our basins, our showers and our washing machine, obviously not from the dishes or the dishwasher. And then we have our solar, and I will be taking you through that with Craig a little bit later. So this is our greywater system. As you can see, we have 2 hose pipes connected to it. One goes to the front garden, and then one goes to the back garden. Very handy. This greywater system we purchased as a whole system from our local hardware store, and it's been absolutely brilliant. Craig had to dig a hole obviously to put it in, and then connected up everything, and you can see all the plumbing goes in to the greywater. So this is from our kitchen, and that one is from the bathrooms. This does need to be cleaned at least every week. Craig cleans out the filter, washes it out, and then we put something called Odogon into it to make it not smell. So let me open it up and show you what it looks like inside. It's gross, obviously, because it's greywater. This is the inside of the greywater system. As you can see, it's quite dirty. We've just finished a load of washing, so that's why there's quite a bit of water in here. However, it does have a float switch, as you can see there. So the water's obviously got to get to a certain level before the pump switches on and it kicks in and the sprinklers go on. What Craig does is every week he takes this out and that filter out, and then inside there, I don't really want to show you because it's a bit gross, but inside there's like a, almost looks like a, I don't know, a bottle brush that's also part of the filter. He takes that out and he cleans it, rinses this whole system out, and then throws in some Odogon, which I'll show you now, to make the water not smell. So this doesn't smell too bad because Craig has actually thrown some Odogon in here. But when there is no Odogon in here, when the sprinkler system goes on, it is gross. This is the stuff that we put into the greywater system to make it not smell, because obviously when we put the sprinklers on, the water can smell quite bad. As it says here, it's biodegradable, it's environmentally friendly, and it's pellets. So Craig throws a cup or so of these into the greywater every week after he's cleaned the filter, and it doesn't smell. It's fantastic. what have you got there?
Filters.
For?
The filter.
Which filter?
Filters our water.
Filter our water. You've got 3 filters there. What does each filter do? Do you know? You're going to read it now.
This is a 5-micron one.
Yeah.
1-micron one. That's our carbon filter.
Our carbon filter. Okay. Let's go see you install them. Right. This is our cupboard. It actually needs to be sealed again, where we keep our water filters and our pump. So all the water from our tanks goes through these 3 filters. So these are the filters that Craig's going to be changing, the 3 filters, and then we also have a UV light, and then here is our pump. And the water from our water tanks comes through the pumps it through the filters, and then it gets pumped directly into our house. So it is used in our house for drinking, showering, dishwasher, washing machine, for everything. But the main reason why we filter it is so that it's clean and we can drink it. You got a cool tool there, Craig. It's often quite a thing to get these out. Not working. Oh dear. So you got to remember that the water comes off the roof and then it goes into the tanks. So therefore it's not very clean. We do have a whole system, which I will show you another day, of first flushes and leaf catchers, so at least most of the debris doesn't go into our water tanks. And then we have our filters so that by the time it gets into our house, it's clean. We've got a whole system here. You'll see some numbers here. 1, 2, and 3. So when our tanks get low, we just switch these taps over to municipal water. It still gets filtered through all the filters into our house, and we use municipal water, which is what we're going to have to probably swap to very shortly due to the lack of rain. We've only got 15,000 litres of water, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Try another one. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. There we are. Yo. Did you put them on like that tight? Yes. See. You're going to see how disgusting and filthy these are. We change them every 6 months. They're coming loose. So this first filter is the, which micron one, Craig?
Should be the 5.
5 micron, okay. Obviously there's water. Oopsie. Oh my goodness. Quite a lot of it seems. That's why Craig's put the towel over the pump. Pump is not waterproof. Yo. Look at that. That is disgusting. So look at the difference. New one, old one. New one, old one. Yuck. Wasn't too full of. So that one's not too bad because it's obviously the second one. Oh wait, I'm lying. Okay, so that is the carbon one, hey? The carbon block filter. Here we are. So that's the carbon block filter. It says here that it removes chlorine, and some harmful organic substances such as color, taste, and soluble in water, strange smell, etc. So there we are. This last one seems to be quite tight. This is after about 6 months of use. Are these a little bit overdue?
Might be.
Yeah, I think they are a little bit overdue. There we are, and that's the last one. You can see the difference. So that doesn't look too bad after those two. So it filtered through that one, and then that one, and then that was the last one, and then obviously our UV light. It really does take all the dirt and filthiness away. When we turn out on our taps, I can promise you it's clear water, and it tastes nice. So that's what it looks like without the full the containers in. Craig's going to give them a good wash and then pop them in. Containers are cleaned. Craig's now going to put the new filters in and replace the containers. These are our batteries and our inverters. Inverter, one inverter, 2 batteries. They are Sun Synk. This gives you all the information. We have 2 lithium batteries. Okay, so Craig's going to explain a little bit about our solar system. What are the batteries and inverter and kilowatts? I don't know anything about that.
8 kilowatt inverter.
Okay.
2 5.2 kilowatt batteries.
So how much electricity does that give us?
Oh, you can store 10 kilowatts.
Oh, okay.
5 plus 5 is 10.
And it serves our whole house. And here's the control panel. What does that tell us?
Oh, we've got 82% charged. And we're generating 5.7 kilowatts.
That's quite a lot. Oh, exciting.
3,481 watts. We're using 1,100 watts. And that's our generation.
And what do all these lines tell us?
And the green one is your state of charge.
Okay.
And that one is your generation.
Okay.
And the red's your load.
Oh, okay. So the and these spikes is when we are using a lot of load. Okay. We have 10 solar panels, and then we also have a solar geyser. As we live in sunny South Africa, we are very blessed because majority of our days are sunshine. Our entire solar system runs our entire house, so it isn't only specific plug points or just the fridge or whatever that runs off our solar system. Our whole house runs off the solar system, so we are lucky enough to be able to use our oven if we need to. The pool we put on just during the day, so it's set on a timer and it runs just during the day, so it runs when the sun is shining, so it doesn't actually use much of the load. Obviously with our water system pumping into the house and the pump for the grey water, that does go on and off, so it obviously will use some of the battery. Our solar geyser, it works fairly well in summer, not so much in winter, because obviously the days are shorter in winter. So we are now autumn going to winter. So what Craig does is that he's put the geyser on a timer so that we switch it on early to late afternoon for an hour or so, just to get it warm enough so that we can have a nice hot shower at night time. We do need to tap into the power source because we like to keep quite a nice reserve on our solar system. We do live in South Africa, so I'm sure for those of you who don't live in South Africa, you have heard of something called load shedding. Oh, it's a bit breezy. So that is when we have specific times when the power goes off for a specific amount of time. We have been quite lucky recently where we haven't had any load shedding. It was one of the reasons why we actually put our solar system in, is because of the load shedding. So we don't suffer no power. So we always keep a reserve in case we have a situation where we don't have power for a very long period of time. As soon as it gets to the reserve, it automatically kicks into the power grid every day. So if it's cloudy and the battery gets to, I think our reserve is quite high. I think Craig has put it at 40 or 50%. So as soon as it gets to that reserve, it automatically kicks into the grid. So yeah, we are off the grid as such, but we do tap into our municipal water system as well as our power grid. The municipal water system we do tap into more often than we would like, and that's because we just don't have enough tanks, so not enough storage. With our solar system, we also don't have enough storage. If we had more batteries, we would probably be able to be completely off the grid without tapping into the grid at all. But for now, it's absolutely sufficient because our electricity bill is absolutely minuscule because it's South Africa and we get lots of sun. And we make sure we run things like the pool pump during the day. We only switch the geyser on for a very short period of time before we want to shower. In winter, summer's a bit different. So yes, and we just keep a very high reserve. So if we didn't keep such a high reserve and we had more storage capacity, we would be completely off the grid. We obviously have a gas hob, which really helps to reduce power usage, and we use our kettle on the gas hob. The oven is electric, but we use it at night without wiring. So yeah, our other kettle over there we do use during the day when it's a beautiful sunny day, because it does boil quicker than the gas hob kettle, but because we are using power from the sun, it doesn't matter, and we can just use the kettle. It doesn't take off, doesn't use any of the battery. It just uses the energy that's coming through already from the sun. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Any comments, questions, please put them down below. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. And if you liked today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.